Hello everybody. Today we'll study Chapter 3. Chapter 3 will be studying collaboration and writing. Collaboration simply means teamwork. How to write certain project or certain proposal with other members in your organization. So in this chapter, we'll study different approaches to collaboration and writing process. We'll talk about teamwork and tools for collaborations. Okay, before I go further, actually, as usual, I like to actually watch one of the YouTube video. So let me try to go into that section. And we'll actually begin with the introduction to actually different tools that we use in communication. So the title of this video starts with, is workforce effective? Is workforce effectiveness important to your organization? So let's watch the video and we'll move forward from there.
Device was probably my father's mobile phone. It was huge and you had to have a big suitcase in the back of your car for it to work.
My first memory of a communicating device is probably my first cell phone.
Normally I use mail mostly, depending on what type of event it is.
My favorite way of communicating with my friends is through Facebook or Instagram. My favorite tool at my workplace would be the instant messaging because it's easy and it's quick.
Typically I use mail, but more and more I use office communicating tools where I can get direct access to the people that I need to get in touch with.
If it's someone you can't call, then I think the email is still the best. No, I don't read all my email.
When I need to get in touch with someone with a certain expertise, I typically use expert discussion forums.
When I need to find an expert, I first look in my own network. How large is my network? It's fairly large actually. So I would say my private network is probably around 50-60 people.
I would like to say it's quite large, approx 1,000 persons.
I really prefer getting to know new people in person, or IRL, in real life, as the kids say nowadays. But then I use a lot of technology or community sites and stuff like that to maintain those relationships and really stay in touch.
When it comes to working relationships, I use LinkedIn, and then I use Tumblr as a lot of to know what's going on in my friends' lives. So I see that people at work that are in my age or older than me collaborate differently. Yes, I do.
To solve a problem, I prefer to get the relevant people into one room and stay there until it's solved.
Collaboration to me is having people from all over the globe, people that you don't know, and to come together and work with something and create something together that you wouldn't be able to do by yourself.
When searching for information, I want to be able to search for it easily, like just Googling the internet.
And when I need to learn something new, I want to get the information to learn something just in time, so I'd actually get the knowledge when I need it. So the best way for me to learn is to actually ask someone help me.
I would mostly use forums in my private life, and then I use Flashback. And then it's because I can look for a question and see if it has been discussed before. If it hasn't, I'll ask the question to the people out there.
When I need to find answers to questions that I have, I normally start with my friends. And as a last resource, I would say I Google on the internet to try to find subject matters.
I Google it shamelessly.
So what would attract me in a future workplace would be quick and easy collaboration with my international colleagues.
I'm a father of 2 small kids, and I really want to be involved in their life. It means that I need to sometimes start a little later in the day or leave a little early in the morning. That means that working anywhere, anytime, any place is important for me.
What attracts me to my future employment is to be able to work from where it suits me.
The greatest benefit I see from the increased collaboration is that you can reach a lot of talent very quickly.
Collaboration, for me, it means to help each other.
To me, the greatest benefits with collaboration in the workplace is it's increased flexibility, it's higher pace in which you can do things, and I think ultimately have more fun doing it.
Collaboration is working together, reaching a common goal.
Okay, let's continue on our lecture on PowerPoint. Okay, so basically, as we have seen in the video, maybe definition of collaboration is working together. How to work together with the employees in the workplace. Okay. Okay, so there are different approaches to collaboration, and it shows basically first one is divide and conquer. Basically, divide and conquer is basically we have one large project and it is divided into small sections. Then each sections are assigned to team members. So if we have one big project, we will have different team, and in each team there are different members in each different team, and depends on their expertise, people will be assigned to different team, and they work within that team. And later on, we're going to combine all the basically different teams work together and make a one big final project. Another actual way of approaches to collaboration is specialization. So basically, it depends on person's different background and expertise. The large project can be divided into sections, but sections are assigned to team members based on their expertise. Third type of approach of collaboration can be sequences. So basically, if we have one big project, it will begin with different sequences, beginning, intermediate, then it will move on to higher, maybe more specific, specialization. So in sequences, basically, the draft of documents are passed from one person to the next person. So one person finish his or her portion, then it is basically passed to next person who will continue the project. Fourth approach to collaboration is dialogue. Basically, dialogue, two writers basically pass draft of documents back and forth each other. And basically, in the normal situation, it would be one person would be writer, another person would be editor. So editor will edit somebody's writing, give his or her comment, and writer revise it and send it back to editor. So dialogue is more like two writers working together, not together at the same time, but it will be going back and forth of their draft until actually both parties are satisfied with the final result. Fifth actually approach to collaboration we call synthesis. Now synthesis actually are the two writers work side by side on a document. So they are working together same time. Now of course, if they are in the same office together, they can work together in the same office. And nowadays with basically telecommunication advanced, even one person is in Europe, another person is in New York. Through the web conferencing, they can work actually together, side by side. We're gonna actually go into different technologies available for basically collaboration work later on this chapter. So here basically it will work actually better if when writers are familiar with each other. If the other person know how other person's work habit is, and if they work with them, if previously, then basically work together much more harmoniously and much more cooperatively. Okay. So here basically collaboration and writing process. In writing process, basically, we can have a writing team. Basically, they need to consider how to plan the writing, and they also have to consider the budgeting, time, and money. Because when employees spend their time, and also for work together, from point of view of the company, they have to pay compensation to these employees. So basically, it also concerns the money-wise also. So let's talk about general guideline for collaboration. Basically, to work in team together, it's best if we get to know each other, get to know your team, get clear goals and ground rules. Basically, sometimes working together, some people might like to dominate. So you probably need certain ground rule, basically so that one person does not dominate the whole group conversation. And also use brainstorming techniques for planning. We'll talk about different techniques later. And use storyboarding techniques for drafting. And also agree on a thorough revision process and use computer to communicate. If even within the same company, if they are working in different department or different floor, we still need to use basically your computer, internet to communicate each other. Now, normally in writing team, we need team leader. Team leader basically conduct, basically, the team leader contact all the team members and clients together. And basically, a team leader can be actually a project manager most of the time. Then we also need planning coordinator who manage communication among team members. And basically, planning coordinator will keep track of benchmarks and deadlines and prepare for the meeting. So planning coordinator try to coordinate everybody into basically bring them into the meeting and sending the agenda for everybody so they know what subjects they will be discussed in the meeting. Then during the meeting, basically person who will lead the team will be team leader. Okay, now in the writing team, basically one will be archivist. Now archivist, the function will be keep minutes of meeting, assembles files of all written material associated with the project, and prepare material to be stored in organization archive file. So basically, this will be more type of secretary function who basically keep all the record of all the meetings. And there's another role in team writing, would be devil's advocate. Now, devil's advocate is somebody who identifies potential problem. And this person will help team avoiding group thinking. So devil's advocate is sometimes odd job because he needs to basically object to somebody's idea. And many times group might have a conflict because somebody always try to object to somebody's idea. Then person simply saying, hey, I'm just trying to do my job. Today, my role is devil's advocate. My job is to avoid group thinking and trying to see if we can brainstorm the new idea. Okay, then let's talk about in planning. Now, the planning is very same things that we study in chapter 1 and chapter 2. In chapter 1 and chapter 2, we studied to write technical communication writing. First, we have to define the purpose of the writing. Second, we have to analyze who is our audience. Third, we have to gather all the information. Then fourth, we write the initial draft. Fifth, we continuously revise until we are satisfied with our writing. Then lastly, we come up with the last final, basically project or writing. Same thing here, even though we are working in the group, basically process. Once the group, we have a certain group to work together, we basically go through the same planning procedure. So first one will be analyze your audience. Who is our audience? Is our audience customers? Are we writing the owner's manual for some high-tech products? Or is our audience our shareholders, board of directors? Then we have to identify the stakeholder. Who are stakeholders? Stakeholders basically are the people who are interested, who has interest in corporation's decision. So it could be your board of directors, shareholders, it could be even your customers. So we have to find who are we working, why are we doing this? We are trying to write this owner's manual for customer who buy the newly invented new basically maybe high-tech TV or audio set. So we have to decide who is our audience and who is our stakeholder and what is important to them. And we have to also identify what are we trying to achieve, desired outcome. What information will make this document successful? And where can that information be found? And what task will be necessary to accomplish team goal? Then since everybody is getting paid working in the corporation, we have to be also concerned for budgeting time and money. We have to identify the benchmark benchmarks meaning deadline for specific task. So we have to come up with certain schedule, certain deadline. So we have to come up with completion of preliminary research, then organization of corrected information, then planning of graphics, then we have to have a certain schedule for completion of first draft, then editing of late draft, then document design and publication of documentation. Publication of document means you are your paper is done, then you're gonna basically give your proposal to the government, to the other company, or you're gonna give your basically projection or some kind of business plan to your board of directors. Then, continuing budgeting and time and money, we have to basically schedule chart guideline. Now, these basically schedule guideline will include normally main activities mostly, and at least activities in sequences, because we like to start with the beginning and move on to more sophisticated subjects. Then basically it creates new format when needed, and these basically guideline has to be realistic about the schedule. And normally if those schedules are not realistic, that's going to hunt you back. Your manager will say, well, you in your basically plan schedule, you're supposed to finish this job, let's say as of last week, but you haven't. So you're going to be responsible for what you are writing on your schedule. And also managing finances. Normally, any kind of project will need some type of budget. If you are trying to create something new, it will need basically research and development budget. If you are basically trying to maybe improve the existing machine, you will also need budget to hire experts and specialists. And also you have to know your organization's policy for authorizing and reimbursing expenses. Maybe if it's basically money, not really big amount, maybe the company has policy that you can spend for your travel expenses and you can get the reimbursements later. So you have to understand company policy for how to get your expenses reimbursed. Okay, now these schedule can be in many different diagrams. So here, this is more diagram show on the vertical. It shows basically project phases, and project phases start with the beginning stage to completion stage, and here are weeks and time. So horizontal basically line will show the timing, vertical line shows basically the phase, and from first week to fourth week it will be 17 teams, and from the third weeks to fifth week holding meetings and basically select software, design system and test system. So basically it shows phases how they will proceed with their project. Sometimes it can be basically this block of chart, or it can be line chart. So it will say from here to here, it will be research, online research, offsite research, basically outline work, and drafting, processing. Or it can be schedule chart variation type in this type. This will be timing from on the February, March, within February, they will hold a temporary meeting, review meeting, another review meeting, and final editing. So this basically scheduling can be done just with the words, but these graphics and chart makes are easier for other people to see and basically understand the timing much more in detail. Okay, then when people work together, we have to define what are the roles for team members. Because previously we mentioned we need to have one team leader, then we need actually the coordinator who will organize a meeting. So everybody needs a team to understand each role of each member. Then we have to also consider how to run these meetings more effectively. And we have to also know who is going to write, who will be the writer and subject matter expert. Subject matter experts are normally specialists in some technology or some science, or even maybe lawyers or accountants who has a special knowledge and who are expert in that area. Okay, so we talk about role of team members. So we need team leaders, we need planning coordinator, then we need archivist who can record the meeting, and devil's advocate who challenge some ideas. And then to run the effective meeting, let's consider what are the common problems in meeting. Normally, common problems of the meetings, first one may be they start and meeting too late. Purpose of the meeting is unclear. Not everyone in the meeting needs to be there. Conversation get off track. Some people dominate and others don't contribute at all. And meetings end with no sense of accomplishment. So basically, when there's a lot of people out there without knowing why are there, they don't basically contribute to the meeting and they don't accomplish anything. That's basically very ineffective meeting. How about guideline for good meeting? Good meeting involves only necessary people, distribute an agenda before the meeting, and distribute readings before the meeting so people can prepare and understand the proposal meeting. And they have only one meeting reader, and start and end on time. And basically continue guideline for good meeting. Basically good meeting, keep meetings on track, strive for consensus, use visual aid such as chart, slide, or projector, and with the summary is summarize what they have concluded or what they have achieved. Then also within 2 days they distribute minutes soon, so people understand what they have accomplished. Then by distributing minutes, it reminds them who is responsible for the next steps. Now we talk about writers and subject matter experts. Subject matter experts, again, are those experts in some specialized area. Engineers, programmers, lawyers, accountants. Writers are people who's going to write, actually, the technical communication. Normally, these subject matter experts are not good in writing because they will describe in too difficult language for lay people to understand. So subject matter expert has to explain basically their understanding to the writer, and writer will try to write for ease for people. If it is owner's manual, for ease for people to read and understand. If it is some kind of marketing, basically report, writer will basically rewrite in more lay people's language, so salespeople or team marketing people will understand. So writers contribute expertise in document design, writing and editing, And subject matter experts contribute their technical expertise. And basically, there are guidelines for being a collaborative subject matter expert. Let's say you are the expert. Then if you are expert, you need to keep in mind that keep technical communication informed. Basically, you need to explain your position, something difficult in basically lay language for other people to understand. And you also need to respond to email and phone calls properly from other people, and prepare for interviews and meetings, and treat the technical communicators with respect. Here, technical communicator is, we're talking about somebody who's going to actually write the owner's manual, the marketing maybe proposal. So somebody who is going to actually write company, who's going to make a company website, or some kind of a business proposal to the government or to other company. Now we're going to get into tools for collaboration. Tools for collaboration, let me actually stop here and show you one of the YouTube, because nowadays, because of the we are in the age where telecommunication is so advanced, and we have fundamental, basically, tool for collaboration will be email, or maybe the Skype for web conferencing. But nowadays, much more advanced, basically, business tools has been developed. So let's take a look at this YouTube video, which will be this one. And it shows basically here communication technology in workplace.
Technology is being used all around us. Today I want to focus on how it is being used in our workplace. First part of this presentation, I will be going over how communication technology is changing the world that we work in. Handheld wireless devices give us the ability to email, browse, phone, use our calendar, and access corporate databases. Devices such as the BlackBerry give us the opportunity to work out of the office. Voice over Internet Protocol, also known as VoIP, uses the broadband connection instead of a local or long-distance phone line. This greatly decreases the cost. Higher-end technologies include the ability to voicemail, email, click-to-call capabilities, and soft phones. There are also free or low-cost telephony sites such as Skype. Due to the widespread use of laptops, our workspaces are becoming more open. Instead of cubicles and hard filing cabinets, they're being replaced by open spaces, digital databases, and sometimes smaller areas for impromptu meetings. Company intranets, the one-stop shop for everything that you need to know about the company. This intranet is protected by the company and has a various amount of resources, such as policies, email, announcements. They even have the opportunity for you to share your documents and access employee discussion forums as well as directories. Multifunctional printers allow us to print, copy, scan, and fax all from one device. These printers now are also equipped with enhanced security features, such as passcodes and biometric thumbprint scanning. Our world at work are transitioning from a print and distribute workplace to distribute and print. Voice recognition software give the user the ability to dictate up to 160 words per minute. This is excellent for disabled workers or high dictation jobs such as attorneys and physicians. Your voice has the power to control your computer. Presentations created in PowerPoint can now be projected from a laptop or even posted online, including videos, internet sites, photos, sound effects, and even animations. These PowerPoint slides are supplementing traditional hard copy reports. Presence technology gives us the ability to collaborate online. This is actually found within our devices. It gives the device the ability to locate and identify other devices as soon as it becomes available on the network. What does this mean to you? Basically, you're able to collaborate as soon as users are online. Blogs, podcasts, and wikis. Blogs are journal entries created by one person. Other members that read it are then able to comment. This is excellent for information and for feedback. Podcasts are similar to blogs, but they also include audio, sometimes